Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of Meeting with the Mentors, a podcast series of me, Kaya Daniels, interviewing some local small businesses to get an inside look of what it is like to own a small business. In today's episode, we are interviewing Rivkah from Rivkah's Hair Studio. Thanks for listening. First, I'm going to have you introduce yourself with your name, the business name, and what your business does.
Okay. So, hi, my name is Rivkah, and I am a small business owner here in Westboro. What we focus on are the things that we do best. When I opened up the business, I kind of decided on what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. So what we focus on is everything with hair color, from corrective color to different techniques in color, hair cutting that fit people's facial features and their lifestyles, and smoothing treatments and straightening treatments for the hair.
Awesome. So the first question was, how did you get your business started, and what were some steps you had to take that others might not be aware of?
Well, it's scary to even think about opening up a small business, right? Because you're going from, essentially people feeding you and, giving, obviously you're working for a paycheck, but there's some security there. So when you think about opening up your business, whether it be small or large, you in essence are accountable to only yourself, and whether that is a success or not, at least initially that's kind of, was my thinking, like, I'm going to sink or swim. What made me think about opening up my small business was I kind of felt like I was in a salon that didn't really value what I was bringing to the salon. And so oftentimes it doesn't have to come from a position of that. Sometimes as a stylist you just grow and you're ready to open up your own space. But I had 4 small children at the time that I raised by myself, and so it was really interesting kind of crossroads that I was in because I wasn't happy where I was. And so the first thing I did was I actually asked someone to help me. I asked someone to help mentor me through the process, someone that was a business owner, someone that had was a female, someone that I trusted, and so for me, actually, even the first thing, even before that, was actually asking for help. That was something that always came difficult for me, to ask someone for help. So I kind of applaud myself in doing that, because if I wasn't even able to get past that, we wouldn't be here almost 13 years later, What she did was she actually referred me to the Center for Women in Enterprise that's here in Westboro. At the time they were in Worcester. And what I loved about that process was that you don't even know what you don't know, right? What the Center for Women in Enterprise did for me is it actually helped me to really hone in on what my product was, what my brand was, what was I offering, who was my target market, what did they actually look like, who was my competition. Some real basic questions, that you really have to look in the mirror and you really have to sit with yourself and ask yourself. That was a lot of pressure, but with that said, it's always, for me, I would rather bank on me than anybody else. And so when you have that desire, when you have that burn, that fire in you that says that to you, then that's when you know that you can do this.
So what is the hardest part about owning a business, and were there any factors that surprised you while owning the business?
Consistency is something that can be incredibly challenging initially, right? Because there are so many moving parts. And so hairstylists, for example, when they begin working here, what I do is I invite them to come in. I say, come and hang out. Come and take a look at what the people look like when they come in and what they look like when they come. Take a look at the vibe. Like, could you see yourself here? Because you're going to spend a lot of time here. At the end of the day, we'll talk. And what they don't realize is there are systems in everything that we do here. From the time somebody walks in to the time that they walk out, there's probably, a good 15 different systems that have been used on that same client this all the time. The reasons why I feel like systems, policies, procedures, all of those things are integral in what we do is because if there's ever a breakdown, and they're not robots, so there are breakdowns sometimes, we can be like, oh, okay, well, what happened? Let's play that out. How, what happened?
Yeah.
And then we'd be like, oh, wow, okay, well, that's where the breakdown happened, and we could discuss that and kind of figure that part out for next time. Putting things together, making them your own, you come up with a business plan and all that jazz, but you have to blow life into that. It has to be your own, and so that takes time. It's like a baby. It really is like a baby that you're nurturing, and you go through all those stages from when the baby, literally you're just nursing the baby, and then the baby starts moving, and like it's a process like that.
Yeah.
And there are processes in small businesses too, where then you can be considered a mature salon.
It's funny because I had someone else I interviewed call like they refer to it as a baby too. They were like, yeah, it's like literally raising a child.
Yeah.
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 So that's interesting that you both said that.
Mm-hmm.
So how did COVID affect your business, and how were you able to overcome it?
COVID was really difficult for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of the things actually that helped me a wee bit, because I had to say, Rivkah, there's nothing that you did. And so I had to really internalize that. And I said, Rivkah, you have to focus on the things that you can control, and that is it. And if you can't focus, if you can't change it, then you're not going to focus on it. I had to really take care of my mental space. I had to protect it. I did, campaigns. I sent emails out. I checked in on people. But then I also was really kind of happy because you know what? All my aches and pains went away. It was the first time that I didn't work in 2 months in years since I was a little kid. I created an online store.
Oh, really?
And so on my website, I said, hey, you know what? You can't come in, but I know you're going to need shampoos and conditioners, and, this is how I can help you manage your hair. And so I created an e-commerce. I have a clientele that I've nurtured, and we've become like friends. I mean, I see my clients sometimes more than I see my own family, and vice versa. So you connect in a way that is very special. And so I was like, oh my God, well, where are you? What are you guys doing to your hair? You can't come in to get your hair color, but okay. Oh, how can I help you use the products that you're accustomed to using? And then when we were opening up, it was like I had just opened all over again, like the joy and just scrubbing everything down, and I painted everything, and it was just, it was like a rebirth almost. I sent emails and text messages out to people when they were coming in to, wear their masks, to keep their purses in the car, only come in with their credit card. And then the other thing I created that was new was I did an online booking thing, and then an online booking opportunity, and then for them to, put their credit card information. So it was less touching. So all just changing kind of systems that would make people feel comfortable. And so that's kind of how I handled it. And then little by little, people started coming back. I'd say we had a good 200 brand new people come into the salon that had never been here before. But yet a good 40% of my clientele did not come back. And so it was very interesting because, literally you don't know why, right? But again, I didn't have any control over that. So I was like, oh my God, God is blessing me these people that need a new home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things will come. And so that's kind of how I handled everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I told you I work at Board and Brush in Bay State Commons. I think I mentioned that in the email.
I don't remember, but that's cool.
Yeah, so, I wasn't working there at the time when COVID hit, but, you can tell, because they changed everything that was, happening in there to fit, all the CDC guidelines and all that.
Yes.
What do you think makes your business successful?
Well, I feel that I am very different than any other hair salon around here. Initially, I wanted to make everybody feel like they were in their living room. I wanted there to be a feeling of acceptance when people walked in here, but yet I wanted you to feel like you were getting a professional service. I wanted you to feel special when you came in here. From the time you come in, I know who you are. I already know, the name and what you're getting done. And I literally, if somebody else is here pre-COVID, I'd invite, introduce everybody. They'd sit at the color table and, oh, this is so and this is what she does and blah, blah, blah. And so it was like a space, it was a community space. And it really didn't matter if you were a judge, if you were a stay-at-home mother, if you were a teacher, it didn't matter who you were. Because when you came in here, all the pretenses were kind of left at the door because people got it. Like, it didn't matter what your title was or what you did. You were treated with respect, and people get the vibe and they feel it, and depending on who's here and what the conversation is, because now, have you ever been someplace where you're sitting somewhere and you almost can't even look that way? Like, you don't know that person, you don't even want to look that way. Well, now, you know what? Oh, my name is Rivkah, and, we know your name, and we know your name, and so now you can look over that way, and then you can start a conversation, and so that was something that was really very special here. I'm very specific with what I have in here for products. I do my own product knowledge, before the product comes in here. I try it at home. I'm meeting with salespeople, so it's not just about what it smells like, what the bottle looks like. It has to perform and do what it says it's going to do. It has to be good for the environment. It has to be good for the immune. Mm-hmm. Those are the prerequisites. And it can't be at Ulta. And it can't be at CVS. And you know what I mean? I want it to be very specific to the industry. The consultation is incredibly important. And, when I get new clients, and I'll ask them, why are you here? What brought you here? Because I want to know. Mm-hmm. And what I hear all the time from new clients is, I've never had a consultation like this. If you want to get to Boston, I want to know. Do you want to take the scenic route? Do you want to take the fast route? How do you want to get there? Mm-hmm. We have to have a roadmap. We have to have a plan. And so then people also know where we're going, and I think that kind of creates a little bit of more comfort, for people that have never been here before. And then having a great end product, right? Yeah. I am pretty good at what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. I take a lot of classes. I'm a great listener. We have to be a good listener. And then you have to be able to tease things out and help people understand what it is that they're asking for. Because the integrity is kind of what also, I think, really sets me aside from other salons.
What are some ways that you get your business out there and known by other people?
If you have a great product, right, people are going to share that. We do that naturally. Oh my God, have you been to Arturo's? They have a great happy hour. Everything is $20. You can eat and drink it. You know what I mean? So when it's great, people are going to share it. And so part of what I do is I'll say to clients, if you really enjoyed your service here, would you please share it? Can you put a review on Facebook? Can you put a review on Google? Can you share it? Do you have anybody that is needing a salon home that's looking for a colorist? Mm-hmm. You have to be able to, as a business owner, put yourself out there. For years, I did business building things through town, through BNI and Chamber of Commerce, and you affiliate yourself with other businesses. There are over 35 salons here in Westboro. Mm-hmm. Okay. There is a salon owner right in the same address, 72 East Main Street, right next door. I have zero problem, helping her. She has zero problem helping me. I have somebody that wants to get their hair done, but they're in a wheelchair. I'll give her a call and say, hey, do you mind if I do a shampoo at your place? I need, you know what I mean? Coming from a position of wealth and not coming from a position of scarcity has been incredibly successful for me.
So, have you seen an increase in the number of businesses being started due to the internet and social media?
Yeah, especially now, right, with COVID, where people are working from home. People are doing a lot of e-commerce now. And there are a lot of people actually, now that they've been able to work from home, have realized that things have shifted. And so they don't want to leave their home and go to work. They want to work from home. A lot of businesses have been created because of that. People are finding more creative ways to do home businesses now, or because of COVID. I think that's really opened up an opportunity, a whole new opportunity.
Is there any advice that you would like to give those thinking of starting their own business?
Be passionate about what you're doing. Have integrity in everything that you do. You have to spend money to make money. You have to spend money to make money. And you have to take a risk on yourself, but you can have an educated risk. Do your research. Have conversations with yourself. What are you willing to do? What are you willing not to do? Know your product and know your audience, right? And have trust in yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So those were some of the general questions that I asked everyone I interviewed. And then I had a few specific questions to you. So I think a lot of your situation is like customer service and like developing that relationship with your clients. So how essential do you feel do you feel customer service is to a business like compared to the other businesses?
Oh my gosh. One of the things that you don't even see anymore in 90% of businesses is customer service.
Yeah.
You just don't see it, not even just in the beauty service business, but in almost every business.
Like Amazon.
I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee the way you want it. You know what I mean? So, customer service is somewhat of a dying, thing, these days. So, it's definitely something that you will always find here.
You already kind of touched on this question, but your website says you've been running for 20 years. Is that right?
I've been doing hair for over 23 years now.
Okay.
I probably haven't updated that. Maybe even 20. No, I've been doing hair for over 25 years now.
And then how long has your business been running?
12 or 13 years. I gotta look at the dates. Yeah, this November will be 12 or 13 years.
Awesome. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So how do you think your business or the salon and its methods changed along the way, and how is it different from when it first started?
You know what? It hasn't changed too much. It's changed in that, I've gone from having 4 or 5 stylists to now being, again, the only person working here at the salon. Actually, I just hired a part-time person the past few weeks ago. Customer service is never antiquated.
Yeah.
Having a good product will never be antiquated. Having a product that does what it says it's going to do will never be outdated. Having a beautiful salon is never going to be outdated. So I had to look and say, do I need to change anything?
Yeah.
I really don't. Do I go for trainings? Do I know how to do a proper consultation? So it hasn't changed really at all. Not that much.
So you said you're like pretty much the only one running this show.
Yeah.
I'm sure like besides even like the hair stuff, like I'm seeing your computer right here and like the website, like how did you learn like how to do like all this other stuff that you like didn't know how to do?
You hire people that do it. Right? So one of the things that I do really well is I know what I'm not good at. And I don't feel bad about it. Right now, I switched people that I was working with for about 5 years. I was doing my social media. She was doing all my publicist stuff. I just, I'm working with somebody else. She's going to come in tomorrow. We'll be doing some videoing. She's going to kind of work with, because that has changed. So has anything changed? So when things change outside of these doors, like now more people are on social media, more people are on Instagram. So I wasn't being consistent, so I had to hire somebody. That was one of the things that was important to me. I wanted my brand to be the same everywhere, but more than that, everybody's on Instagram now, everybody's on Facebook, everybody wants reviews. It's not enough for somebody to just come in here. They're going to come in here because they saw my reviews. That's why they're coming in here. If it's not a personal reference. So I've had to change, that.
So those were all the questions I had prepared, but did you have any additional thoughts you wanted to get out there? Any questions for me?
I love the fact that you are doing your research. I love the fact that you are, going into your community and seeing the small businesses that surround you and getting different perspectives from different small businesses. Being a female small business owner, there are so many different facets of us as women anyway. But you have to be kind of tough, and then you have to know when to be soft, and you have to know when to have your rose, and you have to know when to have your sword. I would say that know that there are different hats, and there's not just one specific mold for you, and you grow out of them anyway, when you are learning and growing. So just be open is what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.